Pakistan, a so-called democratic country, is gearing up for another round of general elections. Holding general elections will be a massive challenge for the country, already in chaos. Pakistan has been plagued by a deep socio-political and economic crisis, and this has brought the country to a near standstill, with no visible signs of a turnaround. Credit rating agency Moody's fresh assessment has distressing news for Islamabad. The country could default any time. This is another in the grim list of successive setbacks for Pakistan, which is already struggling to contain the fallouts of extended political turmoil, a weakening security situation, and an unprecedented economic crisis that has taken a severe toll on the common people's wallet. The IMF, in declining to assist Pakistan by rejecting a loan request, dealt it the most crushing blow.
It is very unlikely if this program is going to be revived. But even if it is revived, it doesn't really pull Pakistan out of the mess in which it is.
Even Pakistan's sole and solid supporter, China's assistance is not enough to undo, correct, or improve the situation.
What they keep on boasting about getting from China is all in terms of loans on extremely exorbitant conditions. They keep on saying the loans are on very subsidized rates, but an overwhelming proportion of the loans are actually commercial loans. They are not the government-to-government loans. So they are going to impose increasing burdens of debt.
So, what lies ahead for Pakistan? Is there any chance of a rebound? Can a government and policy overhaul do anything to improve the lives of Pakistan's 220 million citizens? Pakistan announced one of its most anticipated budgets earlier this month. The budget was the final opportunity for the Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif-led government to appeal to the public before the country goes to the polls later this year. It was also imperative for the government to incorporate measures aimed at bringing the ailing economy back on track. The IMF conditions were to be met. Structural reforms were expected. However, the budget presented a stark contrast. Neither did it satisfy the common Pakistan man or woman, nor the global lender.
Given the mood of the IMF and the international financial markets, I don't think anybody is ready to cut any slack for Pakistan right now. Unless, of course, some major geopolitical event takes place, like what has happened in the past, whether it was 9/11, before that the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan, something at a mega scale takes place where Pakistan once again becomes a player in the international system. Otherwise it's a marginal country. It only has nuisance value because of its nuclear weapons.
In what experts believe could have been a better target with tight spending measures, Pakistan has set a fiscal deficit target of 6.54%, slightly lower than the current deficit of 7%. In addition to this, Pakistan increased subsidies and gave an unexpected salary hike to government employees, leaving the IMF dissatisfied and the informal and private sector furious.
उम्मीद ये थी कि गरीब के लिए कोई रिफिल मिलेगा, लेकिन गरीब के लिए तो कुछ नहीं मिला। उन्होंने सरकारी मुलाजमों की तनख्वाहें बढ़ाई हैं। गरीब तो वही महंगाई की चक्की में पिस रहा है। महंगाई 18% और बढ़ा दी है। जो गरीब 600-700-800 रुपये कमाता है दिन को, वो अपने बच्चों का रिज़्क कैसे पूरा करेगा?
Civil servants in Pakistan will get a 35% hike, and state pensions will be 17% higher. Pakistan is paying money to people that it doesn't even have. Pakistan entered into a deal in 2019, according to which the IMF was supposed to give $6.5 billion to Pakistan. Out of this, $1.1 billion is still undisbursed. This deal will expire at the end of June. Pakistan's crumbling situation is screaming for this tranche of the bailout.
the IMF is quite miffed with what has been presented, because there is no reform, there is no effort to put things right. In fact, they are spending money which they don't have. The situation is so bad that they are now taking loans to even service their debt. And that is an untenable situation.
The recently released budget doesn't seem to satisfy the IMF. Cash-strapped Pakistan will spend 50.4 billion USD, of which 50% of it, which is USD 25 billion, will be on debt service. 13% of which, 6 billion USD, has been allocated to defense. Pakistan is facing a balance of payment crisis. Its currency has plunged into a downward spiral. The dollar reserves are dwindling. There's an energy crisis, and inflation is skyrocketing. However, the government seems to have different priorities altogether.
This is the country they have created. I mean, it has been commented in the past that most countries have an army. In Pakistan, an army has a country. So, as long as the equation of power doesn't change, the flow of funding will also not change. You must also understand that it's not just the army. Pakistan remains a overwhelmingly feudal society. The army is one element of that feudal structure. So, the country lives for a very small elite. The people don't matter.
The country's economy, which was struggling for months, is now facing another major challenge as a protracted political war between the government and Imran Khan, which has already taken a massive socio-economic and political toll on the country, is not seemingly ceasing anytime soon. The tragic comedy storyline of Pakistan is also featuring upcoming elections. The more pressing question here is, can Pakistan even bear the burden of holding elections? Critics say the country has no choice but to proceed with the scheduled elections. Abandoning this plan will do nothing to disavow the notion that civilian authorities are operating under the influence of the army.
One will be the problems on the political side. It's not just Imran Khan and his followers, but also the people who are opposed to Imran Khan and siding with the army right now, who will raise hell if elections are postponed. Secondly, legally, without a military coup, can elections be delayed, because then the judiciary will step in. Already they have actually violated the orders of the judiciary by not holding elections in 2 provinces, which constitutionally they were supposed to do.
The present security situation of the country has only compounded worries for Pakistan. Unabated militant attacks have claimed several Pakistani security personnel's lives, and little has been done to prevent any such future attacks. The government's ineffective policies, coupled with the growth of new rebel forces, has contributed to Pakistan's worsening security situation. Despite claims of robust counter-terrorism measures, militants continue to carry out attacks with impunity. The IMF has criticized the budgeting of the bankrupt economy as insufficient to accomplish the goals of its bailout program. This signals that the IMF may not give the last tranche to Pakistan. The current government seems to be targeting in the dark. With Pakistan's existing problems and the complex political economy, the produced budget is a meaningless document.